Kia ora. Well, for many of us it's a quieter afternoon. You can see we've still got some wetter weather feeding through towards those northern parts of the Bay of Plenty. That's clearing off, and we are going to find for many of us it's a drier and clearer end to the day. However, out in the Tasman Sea, the next area of wet, windy weather is waiting, and that runs towards us for the middle part of the week, with that cloud already spilling across in towards the western side of the South Island by evening time and spreading across many parts of New Zealand as we head through the night. We'll also find wet weather starting to edge closer towards the western coast of the South Island from the word go, and that rain spreads in, being driven in by those northerly winds in towards places like Bulla and the Tasman region, also in towards the Bay of Plenty, and generally a wetter end to the day with some stronger winds as well. There are some severe weather watches and warnings already in place, particularly for where those northerly winds drive that wet weather in. For places like the northwestern parts of the Tasman region, we could find as much as 70 to 100 millimetres of rainfall. We've also got heavy rain watches for the Richmond and Bryant ranges and the Bay of Plenty. And this Bay of Plenty watch runs through the daytime on Wednesday and into the early hours of Thursday morning. For all the details, head along to the MetService website. But it is going to be a wet looking story by the end of the day. For the best of the dry weather, it's these eastern areas first thing. But even here, those clear skies will turn cloudier through the daytime as the rain spreads in from the west. One or two heavier falls expected through the afternoon, perhaps even some rumbles of thunder, those darker blues showing some more active weather as we head in towards the end of the day across those western and northern areas. Remember that watch across the Bay of Plenty for some heavy rainfall there. You can see there is a bit of a break between the rain clearing away in the end of the day for places like Northland, but more active showers set to push back towards us for Thursday. Down in the far southern parts, dry at first, but even here it turns cloudier and the rain pushing through particularly towards places like the Kapiti Coast and up towards Manawatu by the afternoon. In terms of our temperatures, highs back to around about 20 degrees Celsius through Hawke's Bay and across the Bay of Plenty, but generally it's a day that's going to go downhill with some wetter weather back on the cards for many of us and some heavy falls in the mix too. Down on the south side, well, head right down towards the south for the best of the brightness first thing. Generally, things turn cloudier as we head through the morning time, and that rain spreads in. Some heavy spells of rain across the north, on top of what we've already seen so far this week. So another wet day for Nelson as well, with that rain pushing through. Heaviest about the ranges, but generally a fairly cloudy, wet end to the day through there. We'll also find rain reaching across in towards Canterbury, but generally likely to stay dry first thing before that rain arrives later in the day. Down in the far south, a fairly cloudy story for Invercargill and Dunedin, but I think just about getting away with a dry story for most of the time. Temperatures on the South Island, warmest up north, 16 degrees Celsius there, and about 13 or so for the likes of Christchurch. As we go through into Thursday, we'll find heavy thundery showers pushing back on towards those western facing coasts of the North Island. Another area of low pressure sits out there. Also crossing towards the Bay of Plenty. Another fairly active, wet looking day for you. Drier and brighter on those eastern areas of the North Island. Down south, this area of wet weather feeds back in towards parts of Otago and southern Canterbury, but for the west coast it's a drier and brighter story by Thursday. And for all of us on Friday, we're back into a fairly brisk southwesterly feed of air. The air running up and across us, bringing a fair scattering of showers around the western facing coast of the South Island, also down through Southland and Otago. Those stronger winds wrapping around the coast as well, helping to drive some fairly large swells up those western facing coasts of the country as we head through Friday into Saturday. Well worth keeping a close eye on the forecast, and things feeling much cooler as well for the end of the week.